Yo, what's good? This is Gumi King here, and I want to talk about the recent Guilty Gear Strive popularity polls that was posted just recently. They had like a interview that was posted with the developers of Strive. And if we take a look at each region, we see that most people who played the beta are cultured. Wait a second. All right, Japan, I see you.
Where have you been? I'm searching all alone. Facing twilight.
Okay, so in all seriousness, I feel like these character polls are basically like foreshadowing as to what we can expect in Strive's roster. The launch roster, I mean. So going off of this popularity poll, I really wanted to make like a prediction list on who will make it into the game's launch roster. We currently have 10 characters confirmed, with another character that's going to be revealed June 9. Based on how previous Arx's games have been in the past, I think we can expect a launch roster of 13 to 15 playable characters. So that being said, I want to make this a top 5 character predictions list. For the characters I'm really certain are going to make it into this game. So this doesn't include DLC. And just as a reminder, this is not a wish list this time. So this is not a personal bias list. This is just the characters I'm pretty sure are going to make it into the base game. And DLC I'll just cover in another video. So jumping right into it, number 5. This pick might be a bit surprising considering she wasn't even on Japan's list for the top 10 most requested characters. And that character is Ino. So hear me out. I've been told that this character is extremely important and relevant to the story of Guilty Gear, that I feel her chances being included on just that reasoning alone makes her pretty likely. Not only that, but at the moment of when I made this video, Guilty Gear Strive only has 2 confirmed female characters in the base roster, and when looking over the characters that can make it into the base roster, I just have a strong feeling they're going to save and sell us Dizzy and Ram as DLC. Whereas I just have this feeling that Ino just wouldn't really help sell the season pass to us, which we all know is coming. Like, let's get real here for a second. Let me be the bearer of bad news. We're going to get a season pass. That's just how game practices are, especially fighting games. So just be prepared, because there's probably going to be like a season pass of 5 or 6 characters. Like, they haven't announced it yet. We know it's coming. Just prepare, because it's happening. Okay, so back to Ino. Japan doesn't really care for her that much, it seems. Based on from what I'm looking at, like seeing this chart, I don't think she's popular enough to sell the DLC. And I'm not saying like for me personally, this has nothing to do with my own thoughts on her. I know she's on the popularity polls for NA, Asia, and Europe, but Japan really doesn't care for her that much. So I don't think that means she's not coming. It's just that I doubt they would really sell her as DLC. So it's either she makes it into the base game or she's just never added in general, and I don't think the latter's happening. So I'm pretty sure she's just going to be added into the base game. Whereas with Dizzy, she's much more popular, that I'm pretty confident they're going to use her to sell the DLC and the season pass. Alright, so next up, number 4, Jam. Okay, wait, I can explain, I swear. I know I mentioned this is not a wish list, this is a predictions list, and that I won't have any personal bias. So for those who know me, you know how much I want this character to be added to Strive. Personal feelings aside, none of my bias. I'm not biased. I'm a very neutral, fair boy, alright? I actually legit think Jam is very likely. And again, we only have 2 confirmed female characters in the game right now. And unless they add like an original female character, which they could, I really think that makes Jam much more likely. And like honestly, just look at this list. Look at these cultured beta players, Asian EU especially. That's bravo. That's beautiful. That's what I like to see. So that being said, there's not really many more reasons. She's a fan favorite. She's iconic, and she goes. Okay, so next up on my list, number 3 is Johnny. We all know this was coming. We all knew he was going to be on this list. He's consistently number 2 on every one of these top 10 lists. I'm sure everyone saw this pick coming. He's a fan favorite, even among people who don't play Guilty Gear. They really want to sell this game to more people, especially, and newer players in general that I've personally talked to finds Johnny to be like the coolest character in this entire game. So when it comes to original characters from older Guilty Gear titles, he was added in X, which is like the sequel to the original Guilty Gear, right? Guilty Gear 1. If that's the case, he fits in chronologically if he's added somewhere soon after they add Baiken. I'm going to get into a little theory I have at the end of this video, so I'll get back to that. But so yeah, Johnny's cool, he's flashy. People love watching him in general. He's cool. All right, we get it. So my next choice, number 2, Bridget. This character is super popular in Japan. And so for that reason alone, I promise you this character is making it to this game. Like it literally, for that reason alone, that's it. Back then when they had a Exard character choice poll, basically how it worked is the winner of this poll would be added into Revelator. And if you take a look here, Dizzy beat Bridget just barely. The gap was only 351 votes apart. And even then, Bridget still never made it into Exard. I'm actually not sure why Bridget never made it into Revelator. I want to say it's because of the story stuff and relevance, but if that's the case, Strive is different in that they want to sell this game to a bigger audience. And I know Japan would go ballistic if this character was added. Before I get into number 1, I want to go into some honorable mentions. These characters are probably going to at least be DLC if they don't make it into the base roster. So the first one is Dizzy. I know it seems pretty odd that Dizzy is an honorable mention, but the reason why I think she'll be DLC instead of being added into the base game is 1, she would really help sell the DLC. I mentioned this before, but this character leading the season pass would really help sell it. And second, and this is even more important, back before Dizzy was added into Revelator, Arx actually briefly mentioned how much of a pain in the ass it was to make this character. Essentially, I don't know the exact process, but the model for Dizzy is extremely complicated because she has like the demon and angel thing on her shoulders, and they have their own animations, and getting her to animate is just so much work that they expressed how difficult it was. And so it took a character poll to get her into the game. And I can only imagine the feeling they have, like the bitter sadness they have having to do this all over again for a new game. So that being said, I really doubt she's going to make it to the base game. She's very popular. She's definitely making it into Strive, I promise you. But just her model itself is so much work. After that is Slayer. Honestly, the big reason he's an honorable mention instead of top 5 is strictly because this game, again, only has 2 female characters. And I feel like they're going to want to add at least 5 female characters. That's my prediction. And so he's a shoo-in for sure. But I could really see them selling him as DLC unless they add more characters to the base roster. So instead of 15, we get like 17, which could happen. It's not likely. I haven't seen a brand new game start with like 17, but we'll see. I could be wrong. But he's really popular, and if you look at the chart, you can see he's like consistently on each one of them. So I could see them adding him as DLC because I know he would help sell the season pass for sure. He's popular enough. I'm not sure if they're going to prioritize putting him before some of these other characters on this list. And for my last honorable mention, I would have to say it's Ramlethal. Again, she's super popular in Japan, and she's a female character too, but I just can't really see them adding Ram in the base roster over Bridget and Johnny. I could be wrong, and maybe Ram's popularity is enough to put her in the game just for that reason alone. They could add Ram in this game instead of Jam, but I really feel like Jam is more likely than Ram. You feel me? So not Ram over Jam. I think Jam over Ram? Okay, anyway. All right. So for my number 1 pick, we all know who this choice is going to be. You all knew who this choice was before you even clicked this video. And that's Baiken. There's really not much to say about Baiken. First of all, she was number 1 for every region on the most requested characters. The character was requested so much for even Exard back in the day that it's really just become a meme at this point. Like the joke, like, no Baiken, no Baiken, or whatever. No Baiken, is that what it was? There's an ongoing joke that there are more Baiken fans than there are people actually playing Guilty Gear. As far as how likely she is to get into the game, I have a theory. So Strive's base roster is a soft reboot of the original Guilty Gears so far. So in that list we have, I'll just go ahead and read it. In the first Guilty Gear, We have Soul Bad Guy, Kai Kisuke. Or is it Kiske? Anyway. Mei, Dr. Baldhead, that's Faust if you don't know. Potemkin, Chip, Zato, Milia, Axel, Cliff, and Baiken. So in the regional Guilty Gear, we had these characters that are playable. So far, in Strive, we have all these characters except Cliff and Baiken. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I don't think Cliff is making to this game. There's a story reason why he's not making to this game. And again, I know I'm contradicting myself. I mentioned that they don't care for story, but like, he's like not making to this game. I'm not trying to drop any spoilers or whatever, in case someone cares. But he actually has a legitimate reason why he wouldn't make into this game. So getting back into Baiken, this list here makes me think that the next character that's going to be revealed is Baiken. In fact, I would go as far to say that on June 9, this reveal trailer I think is going to be Baiken. I actually think a reveal of Baiken's coming. If it's not Baiken, then maybe it's the samurai guy that Arx has completely forgot about. So, that being said, let me know in the comments which character you're hoping for making to Strive. Are you hoping for Baiken or Bridget? Or are you hoping for them to add Testament or Holy Order Soul? Let me know your thoughts. And if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. I actually just recently hit 800 subscribers, and I know that's like a small number and it's not really a big deal, but for me it is. It's a big milestone. So I just want to say thank you so much for all the support, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out for now, and I hope you have a great rest of the week.